Hi, in this video I'm just going to talk through about the game mechanics for the command points for the game. Now this is one of the core mechanics for this game, and there are a few things I just want to cover. So at in the turn sequence, you need to roll for the command points that you can use that turn, and the number of command points you use in or have available in that turn depends on the scenario. But let's say for the sake of argument it's 2d6, nice and simple. You roll your 2d6, and as a player aid there is a command point track. Let's say for example we get some good die rolls, and we get a 5 and we get 4. We've got 9 command points that we can use. So I can use my player aid and place it just off camera on the 9. And you can use that to keep track of your command points as you spend them. And the spending of the command points is one of those key components. And invariably during each turn, you have to often make quite hard decisions about what you spend your command points on. There are a variety of different things you can spend them on. So I'll go through them in order. You don't have to spend them. It's entirely up to you. And I'll just go through each one very quickly. So, for example, if you have, let's use this example here, flipped counters, you can spend command points to rally those counters. If you have a flip, the same for the armor, and you spend 1 command point for rallying any or all infantry counters in a zone, and 1 command point for rallying any or all armor counters in a zone. So if you had an infantry counter and an armor counter that was flipped, for example these two, you'd have to spend 2 command points, 1 for the infantry in this zone, 1 for the armor in that zone. If you had infantry that was flipped there and there, so 2 zones, 1 command point for rallying these troops in this zone, 1 command point for rallying troops in that zone. You can spend command points to move any or all infantry counters from zone to the adjacent zone. And there's a separate video on how movement works. So if you want to move, let's just remove that German counter there. If you want to move into that zone, you'd have to spend command points for your infantry and command points for your armor. You can spend command points to recon an adjacent zone. So if you want to see what could be in that zone before you move into it, when you've got some quite difficult decisions to make around movement, you can spend command point and use a recon. And I've included a little recon counter on the counter sheet if you want to print one out, make one to help you as a player aid. When it comes to combat, again, spending of command points is quite key. You can spend 2 command points to perform a coordinated attack in combat. And a coordinated attack in combat will, in the combat phase, enable you to fight first, which is super important. You don't have to spend them to fight first, but if you don't, the enemy will fight first. So it's entirely up to you. Also in combat, you can spend command points for airstrikes, and we've got a nice Thunderbolt chunky Thunderbolt counter there. If you want to spend some command points on bringing in a Thunderbolt, and you can spend command points for bringing in an artillery strike as well, and they will help you during the combat. One of the last things I just want to touch on, if you are spending your command points and you think, oh, if I can keep a couple back, that would be great for the next turn. You can't. Yeah, unspent command points are lost at the end of that turn. So spend them. If you got them, use them. And often, as I said, you won't have all the command points you would ideally want to do all the things you would ideally want to do in your turn. So tough choices have to be made, which is one of the key sort of parts of this game. But hopefully that gives you a quick overview of command points, how to get them, and the things you can spend them on. There are a bunch of separate videos around movement, around combat, and all the different phases of the game, where I talk more about some of those mechanics, so how combat works and how you're spending command points in combat. But hopefully that gives you an overview of the combat point system for this game. So please check out those videos, and thanks a lot for watching as always. Thank you.